Hey traders, it's Casey Stubbs here, and today I'm going to talk about the ARK Innovation ETF, and that is done by Cathie Wood, famous investor. She's made a lot of headlines and has said a lot of interesting things, and some people really don't like her, some people think she's great. You know, when you say outrageous things, that happens. But today's video is about, should you invest in the ARK Innovation ETF? And I'm going to go ahead, break it down, share some of my insight, share some of the things that I've been looking at. You can make a decision based on that. All I'm going to do is present the information to you, share my opinion, and of course this is an opinion only. That's what I do, is share my opinions, and you have to make the decision. Of course, always, there's nothing as such thing as a guarantee in ETF investing. You have to make your decision and plan your risk, and that's just the way that it is. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to talk first about the Innovation ETF. All right, so let me read to you the overview and the objective. It's basically what they call disruptive innovation. I'm just going to go to that. Disruptive innovation, meaning Cathie Wood wants to find new technologies that's going to disrupt the market and make rapid change and therefore rapid revenue growth. So just in detail, you can go to the website here and take a look at the web page and get the information here on the ARK ETF, right? So you can do some research on your own. So I'll include that link in the description. But I absolutely love the idea of this ETF, because one of my key investment strategies, which I talk about in my book, is find a new technology and then invest in the leader of that field, right? That's one of my key strategies that I've used for a long time, and it's been very successful for me. So this is right in line with what I really like to do. Now, the one thing that needs to be noted about this is it's a high risk right off the bat, because some of these companies are just getting started, right? So it's high risk, high reward. So you got to remember that. High risk, high reward. So with any investing, you don't want to maybe go all in on this. Just put it in and see if you get a big hit, a big win. Because with these holdings that Cathie is looking at holding on to, you're going to see only a couple of them need to really take off to bring the entire fund up, right? And that's one of the great things about having a basket of stocks, is you could maybe have 10 stocks in the basket, and if 2 out of 10 do well, it lifts the whole basket up. And so especially with an innovation ETF, because one of these things hits big, it could be 1,000x, 10,000x, and beyond. This could be the next company that changes everything, right? And so finding these early and investing billions of dollars when they're really cheap at the beginning, even though they might be a little bit risky, is amazing, okay? It's absolutely amazing. So let's take a look at some of the holdings, and I'm going to go ahead and look at the chart work as well. So you're going to want to stay tuned for that, because the chart is really interesting. Okay. So you're going to notice here that the performance is really bad right now. And that's because even though the market's been down a little bit, when you're in these high growth stocks, innovation stocks, stocks that maybe are losing money, they're going to take the big hit first. So remember, high risk, high reward. 39% is terrible. Okay, but you got to look in 3 years, only -2%. And then since inception is 9%. So again, even that is not great. Like if we compare that to the S&P 500, it's right on point, okay? So it's okay. But, with this high risk, with the high reward, it could do much, much better. And it has done better in the past, which you'll see when we get to the chart. So let's take a look at the holdings here. And this isn't all of the holdings. This is just some of them. If you want to look at all of them, you can click on the PDF here. But these are the big ones. Tesla, right? Tesla, Roku, Zoom, Coinbase, Square, Exact Sciences, Unity Software. I'm a fan of that one. I'm a fan of Shopify. I'm a fan of DraftKings. I'm a fan of Tesla. I like all of these. I'm a fan. I hold a lot of these. I hold Coinbase in my own personal account. I own Shopify in my own personal account. I'm going to look at Unity for a possible investment. Own Tesla and Coinbase. So a lot of these I own, and I really like the choices that she's making because I'm, like I said, I'm a high growth type of person myself. And year to date, my personal technology portfolio is up about 40%. Okay, and I'm not trying to say that just because I'm better than ARK ETF. I'm just saying, I wonder if there's a year to date thing here. It doesn't have that. I'm just, yeah. I mean, I've done well this year because of some of the picks I've had. And if you're interested in that, let me know in the comments, and I'll talk about some of them. I did a podcast recently on Dollar General, which was one of my picks that I just added. So if you're interested in that, go ahead and look at my podcast. I'll put the link in the description there. Okay, so anyways, those are the holdings. Now, we can go ahead and break down a couple of these holdings. Let's take a look at Tesla. I'm going to pull over the web here, and we're going to look at Tesla. I love to use Yahoo Finance for my charts, and if you can see here, it shows revenue. Look at the revenue here. I like companies that are growing in revenue and earnings, and you can see Tesla is just crushing, right? Look at the revenue growth. In 2019, 24 billion, negative earnings. Now they're 81 billion. They have just exploded, and look at their earnings. I mean, Tesla is really doing well. And of course, Kathy Wood is on the first two articles here, right? The first two articles on Yahoo Finance talking about Tesla. Okay, another one, Coinbase is my second best holding year to date. Overall, disclaimer, I do hold Coinbase, and overall I am down because I've been investing for several years, and it has taken a big tumble. But year-to-date gains, Coinbase is my second highest performer, something like almost 75% increase year-to-date on my Coinbase. And Coinbase, again, they have had a big drop in revenue, but you see where they were at last year. But because of the crypto crash, the crypto crisis, they're really getting hurt. But again, crypto, new technology. Coinbase is the #1 exchange in the United States. They just had an SEC victory. Or Supreme Court victory. They are on the up and up. They are not out of the woods yet. Anything can happen, of course, but I like what I see with Coinbase. Okay, it's really nice. All right, now let's take a look at Roku. These are just some of their holdings, right? Roku. So Roku, massive revenue growth, 1 billion up to 3 billion. So in the last couple years, they've more than doubled their revenue. And then last year they took a loss, right? You've seen that a lot, which is why we're taking these big drops. But when you get a big drop like this, and then they turn their earnings around, they do a couple earnings surprises. And I don't know that that's going to happen. I'm not going to make a prediction, but we're just going to say that that's a big catalyst for huge, huge growth, okay? So another resource that I wanted to throw at you guys, which I think is pretty awesome, and I read this, and I would love it if you guys would read this as well. Let's go ahead and look at the Big Ideas Report. If you subscribe to this, you get a great email from ARK, and you get also this report. And it's right here. Download the full Big Ideas of 2023 right here. Okay, that's the link. I'll put this link in here. It's a great report. And it's so exciting to me because the amount of innovation, this is the most disruptive time in all of history. The amount of innovation that's coming is amazing. And so this report covers all of these different areas. AI, technological convergence. I don't even know what a lot of this stuff is, but I'm excited about it, right? Digital consumers, smart contract networks, just a lot of cool things that are happening. Electronic vehicles, just technology and disruption is everywhere right now. So Kathy's and her team has done a ton of research. So why don't we, and she's giving this report away for free, why don't we take advantage of the awesome research? Okay, let's take advantage of this amazing, amazing research. Okay, and so I have, and I recommend that you do the same. All right, now, one key thought about this ETF before I get to the chart work, and that is that when you're investing in an ETF, it is a whole bunch of stocks versus if you're picking your own stocks, you don't have as much exposure. So I personally, this is my personal preference. A lot of people like to just go with the ETFs because there's less work, but I personally like to pick the best stocks out of this one, right? So if you want, you could go to the ARK ETF, pick your favorites, and go with that. There is a possibility that you could miss some of the big ones, but you also get to pick the ones that you like, and that's what I do, right? I disclaimer, I'm not going to invest in ARK because I'm going to invest in the ones that I like, even though this chart might, after doing this chart work, I might change my mind. So let's go ahead and get to the chart. Okay, so for some of you that have seen some of my videos, you know I like to look at weeklies. So if we look at the weekly, there's something I want you to notice. First of all, is we have this trend line right here. And you can draw this a couple different ways. There's one right here, okay? And you know, there's no perfect way, in my opinion, to draw a trend line. You just get the overarching idea. But then there's this here, right? So either way, you got a nice break. Okay, so now when that happens, what am I saying? What am I seeing? Well, that means the trend has changed directions. Okay, we have broken the trend line. And you can see the move that we had in 2020. And obviously that was pandemic fueled, but it was insane. It went from 33 to 159, almost to 160, a massive, massive move. Never really went below the 10 moving average except for one time. So this would have been very easy to trail this all the way up to the top. Very simple. Okay, so am I saying that's going to happen again? No, because this was an extreme time. But in today's world, extreme times can happen. Because you can look back and you can see we've had just a lot of growth and then big move, and then now we're back down. We even hit new lows. And it's like, okay, new lows, it's time to get serious, right? A lot of times when the new lows are hit, it's time to get serious. So we broke above. That's a key signal. A key signal. Now, another key signal to me is this horizontal box, okay? This horizontal box right here. You can see that they hit a high right here at 45, and that was in November, and now it's retesting this box. I'm another big fan of the book by Nicholas Darvas about his box method, about drawing boxes. And that the price moves from box to box. So if it breaks above this box, I could see it getting up to 54. And then who knows what could happen after that. But if it breaks out of here, that's when I'm really looking at being interested. Another thing, you know, if you go to my website, and I know I throw a lot of resources, and I'm sorry. Look, one of the things I don't want to do is overwhelm people. I don't want you to watch a video and be like, okay, I got to do 20 pieces of homework now because I'm watching Casey's video. I don't want that, okay? I want it to be simple, so you don't have to do any research, but I do have a strategy on my website called the hot dog strategy, and it's when you get a green, red, and green, kind of looks like a hot dog in a bun. And when you get that and a breakout on a box at the same time, that's an indication. See, I call it the hot dog. I didn't invent it. My good friend is the one that taught me about it. He's an amazing award-winning champion trader who's won trading champions. He's the one that taught me this. But when you have this and it's a pullback, right? That's an indication that the sellers are coming in and it's a fake reversal. It's what they would call a bear trap, and then the buyers come right back. Okay, the buyers come right back, and then boom, you have a big pop, right? A big pop. And if it pops out of here, that's where I'm looking to buy. So we have a break of this red candle, the hot dog pattern, a break of the box, right? That's what I'm looking at. So let's go ahead and take a look at a daily chart. Daily's also looking pretty good. Why? Because we're above the trend line. We just broke above the 200 moving average. We have a nice uptrend. Let me draw my trend line here. A nice uptrend, and that was broken to the downside. Okay, so we have some selling pressure. We're pushing up against this resistance here. So that's why I'm not interested in it until it breaks back down. So we could get some downward pressure. We could get some downward pressure at possibly to 41, possibly lower. But as long as it's above this, I'm looking for another either break of the box. But if I like, sometimes I like to go to lower time frames. I might draw a trend line in here and get in a little early. Right? Okay. Or one thing you can do, let's say price comes back down to 40 or even 38, and then we get a nice little trend line and then it breaks up. You could say, I'll add half of my position at 41. And then if it breaks out above 45, I'll add another half, right? That's just one way that you can do your money management, and money management's a whole nother thing. I have been teaching money management a lot recently, and I have developed about 8 or 9 money management strategies. Not going to go into it on this video, but the way that you manage your money has a big impact on your trading results. All of us are trading the same strategy, but we're all using different money management strategies. And so if I'm trading this and you're trading it and you have a better money management strategy, you're going to win over me. So you can see right here, we've got a nice move. Let's take a look at the MACD. I'm just going to add that on here. Indicators. Let's take a look at the MACD just to see. So MACD is lower. So as long as that keeps going lower, if the MACD moves up to green, could be another great time to look at it. Let's look at it on the weekly. Weekly, MACD's been green for a long time. Okay, so that's really what I'm looking at on the chart. It's definitely got the bullish momentum right now. Just if we can take a look at what I'm talking about, because we have the low here. It went down, made a new low, and then it retested. So the lows are getting lower. It retested this one. We got a double bottom right here, but still hasn't made this key breakout. So we have 1, 2, 3 tests of this key breakout. That's really what I'm looking at to see this thing go. And with Tesla being the main, let's just look at Tesla real quick. With Tesla being the main stock in the portfolio, you can see that Tesla's made a big move. Same kind of thing. So this trade's not the same, but similar. Because you can see Tesla was making some lows down in here. But if Tesla breaks out, I would expect this to follow. Okay, so that is my analysis on ARK ETF. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, or anything I missed, on a way I can improve, or something you learned, just whatever it is, I'm always interested in hearing comments. Thanks a lot, and I will see you on my next video. And of course, comments are really what helps me to decide what content I'm going to use in the next video. Thank you, and we'll see you guys in the next video.